Michael and Dave. The Great Neighborhood Scavenger Hunt Catastrophe, a Winged Wisdom production. One breezy morning, Michael Jr. was peacefully trying to meditate by the pond, attempting to clear his mind. He was interrupted, however, by a loud squawk and the frantic flapping of wings. It was Dave, his pigeon friend who never seemed to have a single coherent thought. "Michael." "Emergency," Dave screeched, skidding to a stop right in front of him. "A disaster. A tragedy. An unspeakable calamity." Michael opened one eye, sighing. "What now, Dave? Did you lose another breadcrumb?"
"No. Worse."
I accidentally volunteered us for something." Dave hopped from foot to foot, looking both guilty and excited. Michael blinked. "What did you volunteer us for, Dave?" "A scavenger hunt," Dave said, puffing his chest out with pride. "The Great Neighborhood Scavenger Hunt. The one where the winning team gets a year's supply of breadcrumbs." Michael groaned. "You're telling me you dragged me out here for a bunch of crumbs?" "These aren't just any crumbs," Dave gasped, eyes wide. "They're premium, hand-sifted, artisanal breadcrumbs. Gregory's team is also competing, and if we lose, I'll never hear the end of it." Michael gave Dave a skeptical look. "You know we're probably going to lose, right?" Dave wasn't listening. He was already flapping around, rummaging through the instructions he'd scribbled on a greasy napkin. "First item, a flower with 6 petals. Easy. Follow me." They trudged across the park, and after a few minutes, Dave pointed triumphantly at a dandelion. "There. That's gotta be it." Michael sighed. "Dave, dandelions don't have petals. Those are just fluff." Dave squawked in indignation. "Fluff is petals. Look." He pecked at it, and with a gust of wind, the dandelion seeds floated away, leaving him squinting and sneezing in surprise. "Well, that's rude." They wandered on, eventually finding a proper 6-petal flower in a nearby garden bed. But just as Michael leaned down to grab it, Dave shouted, "Wait. Watch out for the guardian." Michael looked around, puzzled. "What guardian?" Just then, a squirrel leapt out of the bushes, chittering angrily and glaring at them. Dave screeched and threw himself behind Michael.
"See?
Guardian. Evil beast." The squirrel seemed thoroughly unimpressed by Michael and Dave. It promptly began gathering its acorn stash as if they weren't even worth the trouble. Michael carefully picked the flower, and they ran before the squirrel decided to reconsider. "All right, Dave, what's next?" "Let's see, a shiny, golden coin." Dave squawked happily. "Treasure." After combing the park benches and picnic tables, they found a coin glinting under a trash can. Michael leaned down to grab it, but Dave squawked and snatched it up first.
"Ha! Too slow."
As he tried to toss the coin to Michael, he fumbled and it rolled straight into the pond. Dave gasped, diving after it with a heroic squawk. He belly-flopped into the water, creating a splash that drenched an elderly man trying to feed ducks nearby. Michael, embarrassed, apologized profusely while Dave floundered around in the pond. I got it," Dave sputtered, emerging from the water triumphantly, holding a soggy leaf. "That's a leaf, Dave," Michael said, shaking his head.
"Oh, right."
"Well, close enough." Dave tossed it aside and finally spotted the actual coin. He grabbed it with his beak, held it proudly, then immediately sneezed and dropped it again. Eventually, Michael retrieved the coin, and they continued onward, soaked and slightly shivering. "What's next on the list?" Michael asked, hoping they were nearly done. Dave squinted at the napkin again. "A marshmallow on a stick." He cocked his head thoughtfully. "Where would we find that?" They decided to check the playground, where, for some inexplicable reason, kids had left marshmallows impaled on sticks near the sandpit. "Must be some sort of weird ritual," Dave mused, looking at the marshmallow like it was the crown jewel of the scavenger hunt. As Michael reached out to grab it, Gregory swooped down, snatching it with a sneer. "Too slow, losers," he crowed, sticking his beak up as he flew off, the marshmallow dangling from his talons. Dave flapped after him, shouting, "That's ours. Give it back, you marshmallow thief." Unfortunately, Dave was not particularly graceful in flight. He misjudged a turn and plowed beak first into a tree trunk. Michael tried not to laugh as Dave slid down, dazed but determined. "I'm okay. Just got some bark in my feathers," he mumbled. They finally tracked Gregory down, only to find him munching on the marshmallow as if it were his prize. "Better luck next time," he snickered, flying off in a smug swirl of feathers. Undeterred, Dave rummaged through the trash cans until he found a slightly squashed marshmallow, which he brandished like a trophy.
See?
Found another one. No problem. By the time they completed the list, they were exhausted, messy, and slightly traumatized. They stumbled into the park's designated winner circle, where the scavenger hunt judge, a bemused old man with a clipboard, looked them over. "Well," he said, squinting at them, "you're certainly the most persistent team." Michael sighed, ready to accept defeat, but Dave's eyes were filled with renewed hope. "So, did we win the crumbs?" The judge tapped his clipboard.
Technically, yes.
"You brought all the items, even if some of them are slightly questionable. But crumbs are crumbs," Dave squawked in delight, hopping up and down. "Did you hear that, Michael? We won." As the old man handed over a large bag of crumbs, Gregory strutted by, rolling his eyes. "Enjoy your crumbs, featherbrains. But remember, I'll be back for next year's hunt." Michael gave a tired smile, watching Dave dive into the bag of crumbs as if it were a treasure chest. Crumbs flew everywhere as Dave scattered them with wild glee, oblivious to the fact that he was wasting half of them. Michael shook his head with a chuckle. "Dave, you're a walking disaster." Dave beamed, crumbs clinging to his feathers. "But I'm your disaster." With a sigh, Michael picked a few crumbs off his jacket and headed home, content that, despite everything going wrong, they'd somehow pulled it off, just as they always do. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And stay tuned for more videos.